going up with one hand, jumping off one leg. You actually can definitely dunk with two hands, for sure. But it's very rare to see a person go up with one hand and then dunk, but then still hang on the rim with two hands. That don't happen like that. But it is Mike. Hey GQ, I'm Jeff Remmington, aka JRem23, professional dunker, and this is the breakdown. Rebound, The Legend of Earl, the GOAT, Manigault.
You can be what you wanna be.
Ooh. Yo, you know what is crazy? Like that dunk that he just did is actually like one of like our childhood like dunks. Like we always try to do this dunk because it's super easy. Once you get strong enough to hang on the rim, you actually can, like, you know, we used to jump off people's backs and jump off crates and whatever, jump off walls to get up to the rim. And that's what we would do. We literally grab the rim and we'll dunk the ball, hold on to the rim, and with our other hand grab the rebound. So yeah, that's cool. As a dunker or as a basketball player, we're always sizing up our defender and we're always knowing what we want to attempt to do when we get the ball. Like in the beginning of this clip, he knew exactly what he wanted to do the moment he touched the ball, and I'll show you when. Right here. He knew when he did that little thing to the left right there, to y'all it might have looked like a crossover, but it was definitely like the setup, you know? He did that and he knew that he was gonna do the move that he did to get around this defender. Depending on the dunk that you're trying to attempt and depending on the dunk that you're actually doing will determine whether you need to jump off 2 feet or 1 foot. If you're jumping for a distance, I don't know if I can even say it's scientifically proved, but from being a professional dunker, I can tell you that guys that jump off 1 foot tend to jump further distance-wise, right? Guys that jump off 2 feet tend to jump higher. Not saying that a guy that jumps off 1 can't jump just as high as a guy that off 2, but usually a guy that jumps off 2 is a power dunker, and he usually can get higher off the ground. The guy that can dunk off 1 is someone that usually can come from further back. The Michael Jordans opposed to the Dominique Wilkins, right? Michael Jordan, Mike used to fly. Dominique used to punch. Big difference. So in this clip, he actually did the way that you would do it. You would have to jump off 2 just so you can have some kind of stability. Where they have him jump from is a little reach. But I mean, I don't think there was another way to get this scene to look more realistic than the way that they did. Because you got to remember, he still had to throw it behind the guy's back and still had to have room to gather.
You can be what you wanna be. You ain't got no responsibility. That's 2 motherfuckers.
It wouldn't be goaltending because the ball's actually already through the rim. So if this were to happen in the game, it would probably be considered like taunting or something, or delay of game, ball interference, something like that. But they'll still count the basket because the ball definitely went through the basket the first time. People used to criticize me when I was younger, saying, "Oh, dunking's never gonna get you anywhere." Like now, dunking is almost like a whole sport. You know what I'm saying? Like, so in street ball, when you shoot a 3, it's cool. When you make a fancy layup, it's cool. But when you dunk, it's like you get the respect. Because you gotta remember, like, if you get 20 guys on the court, right? 20 random guys, you may have 2 of those guys that could probably really dunk. So when you shoot a 3 amongst those 20 guys, they're like, "Oh yeah, I can do that." You make a layup amongst those 20 guys, they're like, "Oh yeah, I can do that." But when you dunk, it's like, "Oh, hold on, I can't do that." Like that's crazy. That's why all of them were looking like that, because you might have some good players that can really do some spectacular things, but not a lot of them are going to be able to dunk consistently, that is. And then to do a double dunk, like, it's like, holy, holy crap. The cable guy.
Feed me.
Hey, as a dunker, when you have that look, y'all see that look right there? When you got that look in your eye, you can make things happen on the court. So usually whenever I'm going to a new court, right, when nobody knows me, I don't know anybody, I'm playing against all new people, you know, like, people jump with me. Like they contest, they try, and then they get dunked on, then they never do it again. And now, whenever I'm going to the basket, I got the ball on the perimeter and I beat my guy, I give that look right there and the defender doesn't even move. And it's like I can either lay the ball up or do whatever I want because I'm looking like, you better not move, you better not jump, I'm gonna dunk on you. And it's that look. That's the one right there. Nobody wants to be on the end of a highlight reel. Definitely not. Oh God. So now, as kids, this is how we started dunking, right? We would jump off of our friend's back, uncle back, grandma back, whoever back. If you over there, we jumping off your back. That's just how it's going, right? But it almost has to be like voluntary, because if it's not, a lot of bad stuff could happen, right? And this, I would love to see his foot placement. I can't see it in this clip, but I would love to see his foot placement as to where his foot actually is right now. Because to get a full foot placement, it would literally have to be on his booty bone. Because if it wasn't, if he was stepping on his back, his torso would literally just fold. Jim Carrey would literally go flying forward. This wouldn't happen. It wouldn't be able to sustain. And usually when we do this dunk, we have to get people to get on all fours, like hands and knees, to actually do this. But just standing up and looking back and getting a full foot placement like that, yeah, that's not gonna go. Jim Carrey looked like he probably weighed about 185 right here. So imagine like you standing, holding your back at a 45-degree angle, and then somebody taking a barbell with 180 pounds on it and just dropping it on your back and expecting you to stay at 45. It's not happening. They don't make humans like that no more. My granddad was like that. He had a hard back. Rest in peace to my granddad. I love my granddad. But his departure from his takeoff, his departure was pretty. So when us dunkers, like when we actually get up there and we know, it's like getting that call from the tower at the airport, like you clear for takeoff. Like that's the feeling that you get when you're up there right there, like, oh yeah, this is happening. The backboard actually shatters exactly how it shatters in real games or in real life. I don't know how or why or what kind of glass or what kind of material these backboards are made out of, but they're almost like cut proof. Like you don't ever see the person who breaks the backboard get cut. You would think he would have 72 lacerations going down his arms, back, neck, face, but it literally don't happen like that. That's the feeling right there. That feeling that he has right there, I wish I can go play basketball right now. I need that feeling. This feeling should actually be for sale. You know who would sell it? Walmart. Walmart sells everything. They would definitely have that I just dunk feeling. It would be in a bottle with my name on it, because if y'all use this, I want 52%. Space Jam.
Mike, I'm open! Never mind.
I love the fact that they made this part look like something that Mike is actually doing. Like just how he dunked from the foul line, and those dunk contests and stuff, it looked just like that. And what I do like about this clip is that it's played in like a cartoon realm. So impossible things could happen. Anything goes here. So when you're dunking the ball off one leg, right, and your feet are kind of spread apart, both knees are bent, it's because you're still going up. It's like taking flight, like on a plane, right? As long as you see your knees still bent like this, it's because you're still going up. Once your legs go flat like this, it's because you're on the way down. Your body naturally knows to bring your legs down for the landing, and it's sick. One of the scariest things for a dunker, for a basketball player, is to get undercut. or to get bumped or hit before you jump or while you jump. And it's super scary. It's one of the scariest things that you can actually go through as an athlete, in my opinion. Because like I said, once you get up, there is no changing your mind. There is no, oh, I could just come right back down. Like once you're up off the ground, you're up. So if you get bumped or hit or pushed, now you have to figure out how you're gonna adjust this landing coming down. You know, they had this argument, and Blake Griffin actually started this argument. If you touch the rim, is it a dunk or is it not a dunk? Like, if you don't touch the rim, I should say. Because Blake did some stuff, and he was throwing the ball in, and then they actually started saying that was dunking. I don't know if your hand's on top of the backboard and you drop it in from this point, is it a dunk? But I think if you are close enough to the rim and you throw it in with velocity, I think they count it as a dunk. To dunkers, maybe. I know some of my friends that are dunkers started to like really get good at it, throwing that ball in there like that, which is crazy. It's very rare to see a person go up with one hand and then dunk, but then still hang on the rim with two hands. That don't happen like that. But it is Mike. These guys that can really put their hands around these basketballs they really have control of these basketballs. Sometimes it's a curse. Look at Shaq. Shaq has really big hands. He can't figure out how to shoot the free throw because he's like, oh, my hands are so big. Yeah, you know, so it works with some people, but then it doesn't work with some people. But as far as dunking wise, it works. You got big hands, you win. Every single time. That one leg free throw line dunk, you don't really necessarily have to grip the ball to do that, because I got pretty small hands. My hands aren't that big, and I just let gravity do it for me, right? So I would throw the ball up. Once the ball hits, I would jump under the ball. And when I jump under the ball is actually behind me now. So I reach back and I grab the ball and I bring it with me to the rim. So I use gravity when it comes to that. But Mike was really good at doing that, because anytime you know a person is actually gripping the ball, they'll always have the ball in front or in a place where you know that they have control of the ball. When people can't grip, they're like me, you look at my videos, the ball is always out here. And if you actually slow-mo the video sometimes, you can see the ball rolling down players' arms because they can't grip the basketball. Blue chips. And you know what makes this clip look so perfect? It's real basketball players, right? So it's easy for them to do what they naturally do, you know, like everything in here just looks really natural. Shaq with the spin. Shaq was definitely one of the most dominating players in the game, like literally. What he's doing now on this clip is like what he did every time he stepped on the floor. You see how this pass was actually underthrown. Shaq has to come over to get the ball, and this defender that was here should have, look at that. The defender that was there should have been able to get that ball. The ball should have been high around by the rim, not low in the front of the rim. He shouldn't have had to reach in front of the rim to grab the ball. So it's definitely about ball placement. But yeah, this clip is super realistic. What I loved about Shaq is that he never tried to play outside of himself. Like every time he got the ball, he wanted to dunk on you. Every time he got the ball, he wanted to use his body. He wanted to be physical. He wanted to be touched. He wanted to hit. He wanted to dunk the ball every single time. And that's what I loved about Shaq. But that's what the game was then. The game was super physical. Now the game is not so physical that it requires your big man to also have guard assets as well. They have to be able to shoot the three. They have to be able to step outside of the paint, which and these days, in the 90s, 80s, big man never got outside of the paint. Every single bucket was by the basket. It's either you're gonna post up or you're gonna rebound. Unfortunately, we're out of that era. The big men actually have to have guard assets as well now. Like Mike.
Come on, little man. Come on. Come on, yeah. It's my gym, baby.
What's crazy about this, the Like Mike clip, is that when I was a kid, that was so cool. Like, that was the coolest movie I saw. Like, oh, it had Bow Wow in it, Bow Wow. I think Jordan, listen, I'm no analyst here, but I think Jordan's shoes went up about 82% at this point. Everybody was buying Jordans. People that couldn't even afford Jordans were buying their kids Jordans because they felt like, okay, I can get the powers from the shoes. But it has some kind of realistic properties as far as, like, you know, baiting the defender, going left, going right. He even threw in a sham guard, if you guys know what that is. You know, you throw the ball forward and grab it with the same hand. He threw in the little sham guard just to set up the defender. But usually when you throw a ball off the backboard, a lot of times we try to underhand the ball so that the ball comes back off in a way that we can catch it and dunk it. It's very rare that you'll see a basketball player get stuck and then throw the ball at the backboard, because the ball's gonna come off too fast, right? You have to cover too much space, because you gotta remember, you gotta throw that ball and you gotta have enough time to run and jump and catch the ball. So usually when that happens, we toss the ball to the backboard, not throw the ball to the backboard. And if we do throw the ball to the backboard, it's literally just to catch it and maybe just finish like with a floater or on the backboard. No, it's very rare that you'll see a basketball player at the free throw line pump fake, step around, and dart the ball at the backboard and still be able to dunk. Like, that's not happening for sure. But if you buy Michael Jordan shoes, obviously it can't it can't happen. Then the thing is, like, why do they have to make him jump from so far away? Like, okay, he threw the ball to the backboard. Okay, you guys are reaching there, but why not show his little feet, like running and jumping and maybe just dunking it by the rim? What is that? Is that called CGI? Making him do that? All right, so yeah, they could have saved money on the film right there. Having your star player to go out for a halftime show or with fans and stuff like that, that doesn't really happen a lot of times in America. But in other countries like China, like, that's a real thing. Like, that's a real life thing. It's not uncommon for your star player to go out during halftime and interact with the fans and might play a little 101, 2-second 101. That is a realistic thing, because in China they feel like it's about keeping the seats full and keeping the people happy, right? And one of my Chinese friends told me this: nobody wants to see a star that's in the sky. We want to be able to stand next to them and see how tall they are, or how big they are in real life. We don't want to pay to see a star in the sky. And I thought that was crazy. So in China, they really let you get really personal and bring out like their stars for halftime shows and stuff. White man can't jump. I don't know who's getting involved with these dunking scenes, but they're super on point as far as like the mechanics and how it should be done, this and that, blah, blah. Anytime you're leading a 2-foot jumper, right, you throw the ball as they're jumping, because they have to go up to get the ball. They can't chase it. They got to go up and get the ball. So your placement and your timing is completely different as you throw a one-leg jumper the ball, okay? So when you throw a one-leg jumper the ball, you throw it before he jumps, and he goes to get it, right? 2 foot, you throw it after they jump, if that makes sense. So he throws this mad early, but if he threw it to like that's LeBron James or something, because like he threw it with no regard on how low it is, just like, and then he turns back around to watch to see what it does. Then he goes backdoor here, perfect. Where they just showed that ball, or the placement of the backboard, that's like textbook. When you're teaching someone how to throw an alley, that is the spot you tell them to throw. Just try to throw it to that point right there. So that's like textbook. And then he jumped off one leg, close enough to the basket to where his momentum isn't swinging him, right? If he tried to glide from the free throw line or outside of the box and he did this, cable guy. That's what I'm gonna start calling that. Yeah, if he did that like that, he would have got cable guy for sure. You know, this is actually funny because, you know, there was a stigma for a long time. You know, white guys can't dunk and this and that, blah blah. And it's some white guys out there now that, you know, I hate to make this a race thing, but they're actually really good. I don't know. It's like one of those things that, like, because not seeing a white person do stuff like this for so long, when you actually see it, it's like, holy crap! Why does it look better? Why does it look better? Yo, why does it look better? Like, I don't know. It's just different. So, like, seeing this clip, and I could only imagine being there. People were like, wait, what? Because white people dunking like this at this time, this was in the 90s. It was unheard of. That's not happening. Yeah, y'all could shoot. In the 90s, you see the white boy on the team. That was a shooter on the team. It's not hard to figure out. They got a team full of black kids and a white kid. The white kid is the shooter. The black kids are the athletes. Let's just get our game plan down. But when you got a hybrid like this, see, this is a hybrid. Yeah, this is the Berg before the Berg. He was crazy, for sure. The air up there.
Kuonesha vile mpira wa kikapu uchezavyo, takufundisha adabu na kutoa jasho, takuonesha mtikiso ama Jimmy Dolan shake and bake. Ina hatua tatu, utazipitia mpaka usha.
This is actually one of my favorite clips. Right now, basically what he's doing as a dunker, he's really sizing up the defender here. He's going in between his legs, just trying to get a feel on what the defender will do based on what move that he's gonna make.
Alafu nenda mshoto. Toka hapa. Siendi huko wakati wa kwanza. That's it. Na kuuzia kulia.
You see, and he's trash talking here. He's getting inside of the defender's head, like trying to shake his psyche a little bit, like trying to get him to not focus on what he's actually about to do. I really tried to hold my laugh in. This film was super realistic as far as when it came to like him sizing up the defender and, you know, him trying to trash talk, to shake his psyche and stuff. But to have 1 second on the clock and then to go up for a dunk, you beat your defender, so you really just want to make sure. Like dunking, like anybody will tell you, like really good Vince Carter's, me, you know, I'm the best. When the time is going down like that, you want to get you a dunk in that's really like secure, like you know you're gonna make it. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to do anything. It's super easy. But to go in with 1 second on the clock and then to jump in the air and then windmill, that's just a little OD. Yeah, I definitely don't know anything specific about that try, but I'll tell you one thing: you do enough of those vertical jumps, your vertical definitely can increase. For sure. But yeah, this is when he dunks this. He's literally looking into the rim like that's crazy. Is it possible for him to jump the head? Yeah, it is. And those shoes probably not. I don't know what them is right there, but them don't look like like they it. But you know, like I tell people, going to the gym every day, you know, doing the same thing will actually increase your vertical. So being that he's part of that tribe, and you know they have a ritual of, you know, doing these jumps and jumping up and down and displaying their vertical leaps. I think I might have even seen some stuff like this on YouTube. They're jumping over super high, like little barriers and stuff like that. And I played in China on floors that were worse than this, like literally hard dirt. But that definitely does play a big role. Because any athlete will tell you, any dunker will tell you, like dunking and getting off the ground is all about planting your foot. It's all about the plant, right? So now if you got this dirt on the floor, how can you plant and how can you explode enough to jump, look in the rim, and do a windmill with 1 second on the clock? It's just too much going on at this point. Oh. Some people can run straight at the basket and dunk. Some people have to swoop around from left to right and vice versa, from right to left. Some people can only dunk from the left side. Some people can only dunk from the right side, right? The really, really good ones can do them all. But you have people that specialize in dunking a certain way. And his gather or his pre-dunk ritual or routine right here is exactly what one of my boys, his name is Chris Staples, what Chris Staples specializes in. This little roundabout motion right here, like Chris Staples is like, he's super famous for this gather. Going from left and swooping down to the right side to dunk. Now he's jumping off 2. You only do this when you jump off 2 feet. Cause this is realistic, this ain't Space Jam. I think that breaking the backboard, shattering the backboard is about power, but also about like the angle and the velocity in which the actual rim is being pulled away from the backboard. I personally think breaking the backboard is lucky. I think you get lucky and do it, because if you didn't, then whoever could break a backboard would do it every single time that they dunk the basketball. The rim is connected inside of the backboard, inside of the glass, so if that piece that's in the glass gets tilted or shifted really fast, like snapping, I think that's what would cause the breaking of the backboard. A lot of stuff goes into play too, like older gyms, older rims, older baskets, all the stuff like that. Sometimes just hitting that rim at a certain angle with a certain velocity will cause that backboard to shatter like that. I think in any dunk contest, no matter if it's NBA, street, whatever, I think if you break the backboard, it's like an unwritten rule. It's one of those rare things. You don't see it happen all the time. Think about it, bro. You watch some of the biggest people in the NBA dunk on these baskets, on these rims over and over and over, and they don't shatter. You've watched, when was the last dunk contest you've seen a shattered backboard in the NBA? 15 years ago, 20 years ago? So it's like, they don't happen all the time. So if somebody does it, whether it's a basic dunk or not, if it's in the championship round, you automatically win. For sure, it's over. There's nothing that somebody else can do, because it's one of those rare things. It's like a unicorn. You only see those once in a lifetime. Thanks so much for watching these clips with me. I hope you learned something. Till next time.